change.
Together we can make a difference.
All in the run up to COP26 in Glasgow next week. Pledge to change throughout Friday. bbc.co.uk/make a difference. One small change for you could make a big difference for mankind. To paraphrase Neil Armstrong. So with energy bills rising, how can we make our homes more energy efficient? Last week we heard about this government scheme to help change our gas boilers to heat pumps. But if our homes are leaking heat in the first place, we won't feel the benefit. What can we do in our own home? Let's talk to Harvey Fremlin, Managing Director of the National Self-Build and Renovation Centre based in Swindon. Harvey, good morning to you.
Morning, Sean.
Do customers put home energy as a priority when they come to see you?
Absolutely. It is one of their top motivations, actually. We did a survey back in June this year, and 96% of our visitors said that having a home with maximum energy efficiency is very important to them. So, yeah, it is at the top of everyone's agenda.
So what kind of advice can you then offer?
Well, it depends on the budget and the money they've got to spend, really. So there are some really large-scale technologies that people can install in new homes. Particularly, we talk to people who are building new homes from scratch. But there are also things that people can do, at the smaller end for existing properties. So first of all, we'd find out what kind of home they've got, what age is their home, and then we can start to give them the right advice.
What about the boiler and the announcement made last week by the government? Does that help?
It does. So, yeah, it was encouraging. So that was a grant of £5,000 for anyone that wants to install a new air source heat pump. The thing to remember, and you mentioned it earlier, Sean, you're absolutely right. If you've got an older property and it's not very well insulated and it's leaking drafts through the doors, windows, the floor, then installing a heat pump is probably not the right option. We spend a lot of time here at the Self-Build Centre talking about fabric first, so getting the insulation right in the building before you'd look at technology. For newer homes, it could well be part of the answer. And people are looking at the continually increasing cost of their fuel bills, and they're thinking ahead. Something like an air source heat pump could be a saving to them in the future.
How do you stop heat leaking? Is it as simple as insulation in the loft and all those things they squirted into our walls at home a few years ago now?
Yeah, I mean, the government's been telling us to increase the insulation in our homes, and over the years there have been various grants and initiatives to encourage us to do that for a long time. But it is still the main thing that people should look at. So yeah, it's rolls of loft insulation, but it's also things like looking at drafts, even drafts coming through letterboxes, or if you've got an old chimney. Chimneys were designed to let heat out of a home, so it's making sure that you're not losing heat from simple little things really that can make a big difference. The cavity wall insulation scheme, which was designed for older properties, people had insulation installed quite a number of years ago now. So it may well be worth getting an energy assessor in to make sure that's still doing the job. And it can be possible to improve the quality of insulation, even if you've had that done previously.
And you run courses as well, don't you, to talk people through energy efficiency? You can kind of see the theory come to life.
Yeah, so as I said, we talk to people who are doing all kind of sizes and scales of schemes. So, in fact, in November, because of this, the COP26, and the great thing about it is we've got so many people talking and thinking about energy consumption and improving their own carbon footprints. So we're running a number of eco workshops at the centre. So you can find those details on our website, and they're designed to help people do exactly that, improve the energy efficiency of their own homes.
What is a passive house, which I have to say is a new one on me?
So, yeah, that's a really good question. We hear a lot of that from visitors that come to the centre and ask that very question. So passive house, it's basically an international low energy design standard. So it's not a type of building, it's a standard. So to ensure that homes are built with great attention to detail. So they're designed and constructed really well. So what it means is you need very little energy to heat and cool a property. So you get the advantages of reducing your energy bill and your carbon emissions, but also because most passive houses will include a ventilation system, you get a much better air quality. So it's great for health as well as the energy. A passive house will typically cost about 15% more than a traditional new build. build, but you've got the long-term gains where you're using very little energy in the building, so they can pay for themselves over a period of time.
I suppose a lot of what we talked about is the brickwork, basically. What about the paint and the finishes we use, or carpets or wooden flooring? How do they play a part in energy efficiency?
It can make a big difference. So we've got here at the Self Build Centre a number of products that will all kind of tell you about their eco credentials. So one thing that I was just looking at this morning, actually, before we spoke, we've got this great product that recycles the hot water from your shower. So when you're having a shower in the morning, all that water you've used energy to heat that in your hot water cylinder, it's just going back down the drain into the system. This little bit of technology actually captures that heat and heats up the water that's then going back into the shower. So it's recycling heat from shower. We've got lots of little devices and technologies like that that can help people make small improvements that all add up to a big difference.
I suppose ultimately there's lots of advice out there. You just need to know what works for you as an individual.
Exactly. So the first thing to do is just to step back and just look at the age and the construction type of your own home before you commit to anything. So, the heat pumps, as we mentioned earlier, it would be a bit like Swindon Town spending £1 million on a new striker and then forgetting to put a goalkeeper in goal. If you haven't got the insulation in place, you're just going to be leaking air, and it will be a pointless spend of money. So make sure you understand what your property is constructed and the age of it. And if you're unsure, then come to the National Self-Build and Renovation Centre, and we've got a free help desk, and we will sit down with you, chat to you about your property, and try and signpost you to some of these strategies to improve your own energy use.
Swindon Town spending £1 million on a striker proves ultimately that was a speculative suggestion. But we understand the point you're making. Nice to talk to you.
Thanks, Sean. A pleasure.
Thank you very much indeed. Harvey Fremlin, Managing Director of the National Self-Build Renovation Centre based in Swindon, just out by Junction 16.